Hi friends, welcome to another exciting episode of Type Police. You see, I've got Officer Red on the job here with me today, and she's got no patience for people who mistyped themselves. Let me tell you, isn't that right, Red? Right. Yeah, it sure is, Eric. It totally is. See, she talks. Okay, let's get started. Try as you might, you just can't hide, 'cause you're mistyped. And I've been waiting to pull you over all night. Type police, type police. Please pull that guy over. He says he's INTP, but seems extroverted, sensing to me. I think he's ESFP or Type Police. Okay, welcome back to Type Police. Officer Red suggested we pull this person over. She claims to be an INTP, and her name is Lana Marie Taylor. So let's see if she's right about being an INTP.
Hi! Okay, I don't know where to look. Long time no sit in front of the camera and just talk to myself, I guess. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be awkward first, but let's just get into it. So, if you read the title, you will be able to see that today I am going to talk about being an INTP and my function stack. I'm gonna try to focus on each of the functions and then just describing them, like how I think I use them from my perspective. But a huge disclaimer, I'm not 100% sure that I'm an INTP. I am fairly certain now, after sort of a year of research, but yeah, I mean, this seems like the most likely option. So I'm just gonna talk about how I think I use my functions.
Okay, cool. So right off the bat, the way she's approaching it with that sort of skepticism suggests TI. It doesn't necessarily suggest TINE. I want to also answer a question you're probably asking yourself. What is that thing that Red is eating? Well, this is a fruit from the cactus outside that I just right now decided to see if she maybe wanted to, if she liked it. She likes it a lot, obviously. I'm surprised. I had no idea that she was going to eat it even, but she really likes it. And we've got a lot of them because we've got a really big cactus out there, so that's good. That's treats for Red that we don't have to buy at the store. Kim will spend lots of money on. If she liked some sort of super rare vegetable that was expensive, Kim would buy it for her. Anyway, let's continue. So far, so good, lady. I'm not hearing anything inconsistent. Your beginning thing about awkwardness and such was very fourth slot FE. Let's continue.
Like I said, disclaimer, I may not be an INTP, so do take this with a grain of salt. The functions that I think I'm describing may not be the functions that I'm actually describing. And now let's describe what I think is TI. I basically just love analyzing everything. This was always hard for me to tell whether it's FI or TI because they're very similar in some ways. But I think TI is still a little bit more analytical. And the way I see it is I try to analyze certain events in my life and just, yeah, whatever happens to me, I try to make sense of it so that it makes sense to me. So in a subjective way, looking for subjective logic. Yeah. And if I just try to give a practical example, crushes. Whenever I start liking somebody, I won't know straight away that I'm liking them. I'll sort of be like, oh, what is this feeling that I'm experiencing right now? What is this, liking a person? Do I want to be their friend? Do I want to, like, why am I drawn to this person? I need to understand the why. It's not so much about experiencing the emotion. It's more about searching for the reasons and patterns why I like certain people, which again.
Okay. I'm still thinking INTP. You might be thinking ISTP, you might be thinking INFP. But I'm still buying INTP at the moment. So let's let her continue. She's an interesting case study. Red, we're on the clock here. I could sit around and eat donuts and drink coffee all day too, but I'm getting paid to do a job. Okay? Union. What's what happened to get a union? Union workers. She says, this is my 15-minute break. I told her she just had one. She said, I have one every hour, according to the union. So, what can you do?
Sounds FI now that I'm describing it, because it's subjective analysis of feelings. But, I mean, don't we all try to understand
You're
when
out of
we like
uniform.
somebody to a certain
That's not
extent?
okay.
Yeah, like I said, the focus is more on the whys and the patterns, the qualities, more like the analysis of qualities that I like, and not so much on the feeling aspect. Okay, so if I continue with TI, I also would ascribe overthinking to that function, because I do that a lot. Oftentimes, I'll think about a situation after it's happened, and I'll just go back and be like, oh, I should have done this, I should have gone with that, or something similar. Another thing that I think is TI, could be TI related, is, and this is also connected to NE, extroverted intuition. I have a lot of interests, a lot of artistic, hobbies, basically. I draw, I paint, I...
50-50 INFP, INTP. Is she getting it all over you? I'd say 50-50. I can't tell. She could be an INTP, she could be an INFP. I think she's one of the two. But let's hear what she says her interests, artistic interests and stuff are. You really like that cactus fruit, huh, Red? Did your badge come off again? Red, you have already been written up by the brass on this. You need to stay in uniform, sweetheart. Do you want to get down? No, you're going to eat more of that. Okay, fine. Alright. Sorry. Officer Red's causing problems. Officer Perp Red here. We can call her Perp Red. Lana Marie Taylor. You could just as easily be an INFP as you are an INTP. Remember, INFPs have pretty strong TI. She does seem to be focused intentionally on her. Are you doing this on purpose? Are you a disgruntled employee? Let's see a little bit more. I'm going to try to resolve this. Is she an INFP or is she an INTP?
I'm self-taught at guitar playing. And yeah, speaking of music in particular, I learned basically everything on my own. I never took any lessons or anything, so like my knowledge is fairly average, but that's not the point. My point here is that I like the theory behind it. It's not just, being able to play a certain note, a certain chord. It's more about, what really drew my attention was how chords are connected, and how you transpose them, how everything is
All right.
system.
You've got to
And
go.
sort of
All
like-
right. She says she has to go to the bathroom. So I have to take her to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'll let this lady play for a while I'm gone.
That people often connect music just with feeling and, sort of inspiration in the moment. expressing your inner self, which is true, you know, you do that through lyrics, obviously, and through like emotion, you show them in a different way. But with the basses, you need that too. You can't do anything without that. I really like musical theory, for example, even though I never studied it properly, but what I've learned on my own, it's interesting how there's a pattern, how there's a system, how it's all connected and how it all works together. And there is nothing is coincidental. Okay, I don't know if this is TI, it might be TISI. I am selectively detail-oriented. I'm not a very meticulous person, somebody who would keep their things in order or who would like be bothered by clutter. Or like chaos in a physical sense. But if something holds value to me, if I think it's important, then I can be very nitpicky and meticulous about that. But I don't know, like, if this could be true for everyone too.
I mean, I'm really torn here, INFP, INTP, which probably means INFP. I'm gonna have to watch a little bit more, but this might be one of those times when, you know, I really don't like this part of the job. When you gotta arrest a nice lady like this who's sort of innocently misrepresenting herself as INTP, she's as likely. You know, I may end up letting her go because she's not so certain in her expression of it, but really, this is something that if I do this by the book, I gotta arrest her. And I gotta put her in jail. And I don't like putting INFPs in jail because they cry.
Where's my baby brother?
Kimmy, I'm on the verge of having to arrest this poor lady. She's, I think, an INFP who thinks she's an INTP, and I'm feeling pretty bad about it. But let's give her another little minute or two chance.
What were you feeding Sergeant?
Oh, let me tell you.
To an extent, I don't know.
What is this thing? This is a cactus fruit. And Officer Red absolutely loves it.
And I'm wearing it.
Yeah, she was pecking away at it. So we have a lot of those cactus fruits, so that's a good treat for her that we don't have to buy at the store.
Yeah.
I was telling you.
Ruben and I were eating them the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
Yeah, she made me try one.
How were they?
Delicious.
Okay.
See that belly on Ruben?
It's all full of cactus fruits? Okay. Anyway, let's give this lady another chance, a minute or two to convince me it's the alternative, but I'm getting pretty convinced she's INFP.
I don't know if this is really MBTI or function related, but potentially. And yeah, generally in my decision making, my head overrules the heart, even though I try to think that's not the case, but it kind of is. If I like something and I'm thinking of buying it, I would never just buy it because I like it, even if I have the means, even if I can afford it. But you know, if there's no reason, like, do I need it? I need to have a reason to do things, even if it's my own personal reason, which would make sense, you know, TI, I guess.
You know,
TI is not subjective logic. That's a common misconception. I don't blame you for getting that wrong. TI is objective logic, and it doesn't matter how you define objective and subjective. You either acknowledge this or you define them in opposite ways that they're conventionally used. It's necessarily the case that TI is objective logic, because if I'm drawing contradictions between things that are objectively placed before all parties to be observed and adjudicated independently, then that's what makes it objective. Okay? And any other definition of it that contradicts this notion is meaningless. You seem to be wrestling with the fact that you consider yourself a TI dom, but with this definition of subjective. That could explain what I'm seeing here, is you're a TI dom who's trying to reconcile what doesn't work logically, but she's not familiar with it enough to really concretely recognize that it is not working logically at all. So you're wrestling with it in that fashion. That could explain it. Maybe I should just let you go. But I still think you're an INFP. I think I'm gonna let you walk on this one with a very stern warning. I'm gonna shake my foot at you. Listen, lady, be careful with that mistyping stuff, because you could run afoul of, again, sometime later, the type police, and then you can find yourself in the slammer. Alright, that's going to conclude this exciting episode of Type Police. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.
Was it exciting?
Try as you might, you just can't hide, 'cause you're mistyped. And I've been waiting to pull you over all night. Type police, type police. Please pull that guy over. He says he's INTP, but seems extroverted, sensing to me. I think he's ESFP or type police.